Welcome back. Welcome to Loan Trade Academy. Now, in this video, I want to talk about Trendline and the importance of Trendline because, and also relating it to ICT, that's a smart money concept, and how to use it effectively in order to have or increase your win rate when it comes to trading. So the way I use my trend line is, or most times, if I see trend line in my analysis, especially doing Pmms, price taking the Asian high and going to the Asian low, that's Pmms. So if I see trend line, I mainly usually increased my weeks because I know it has an higher chance of playing out clean. Now the rule in drawing your trend line is, especially involving the Pmms, is if you can see in this analysis here, price has taken the Asian high here. So with that, you know that you're targeting the Asian low. So you want to target all the sell side liquidity. So we have liquidity below here, and all this liquidity, those are sell side liquidity. So instead of doing too much of line, you can just use the trend line. This trend line. So you can see how it work with it perfectly, which is the case of market broke the trend line, which is already signaling a potential sell. So we have to wait for market to clear the relative equal highs I formed here, which is what it did. So you have your AMD formation, your accumulation, manipulation to the upside, then distribution to the downside, which is exactly what played out here. So immediately after the manipulation, I just waited for price to close below the fair value gap, which is making it an inversion fair value gap. As I told you, inversion fair value gap is if you know how to use it, you'll be highly profitable in this market. And immediately it closed below that fair value gap, making it an inversion fair value gap. I took my entry, put my stop loss at the high of the weight. It's that simple. Then target the low of the liquidity. Now I think I still hold the trade even after it retraced because it went lower because I saw another clean trend line liquidity again on the higher time frame. So let me show you guys just by doing this. So if I can take this, I think it's this. Yes, you can see that. So the rule of doing your trend line liquidity or your trend line break and retest is that you want to have at least 3 touch. If you see this, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so many touch in this. Then this we have 3 clean touch, 1, 2, 3, right? And another touch here before it broke it down. We test it here. Then from there it started going down. So immediately I took out some partials here. I also extended my take profit to this low. As you can see, this was the full trade, and that is 1 to 17 weeks to reward. If you just reach 0.5% of your account in this trade, you've passed it. It's that easy. And if you involve your Pmms too, which also increase your win rates, your Asian range, market taking the Asian high, having a clean sweep, inversion fair value gap, direct, and we're also obeying the Judas swing, which is selling above the opening price. So it's as simple and as clean as that. And I'll also take more examples so that you guys can understand, but this is just one. Okay, so this is another clean example on US 100 also. As you can see, market took we have our Asian range, obeying Pmms of course. Market took the high of the Asian and didn't give us any setup till 9:30. So 9:30 we got, you have to notice the maintenance. Okay, where has market, what liquidity has market left prior to the 9:30? It has been leaving sell side liquidity. As you can see, those are liquidity. We have this box here. This little is our new day opening gap. So I extended that out. That was my target because I saw that it's below the Asian low, which will also be my potential target. And sell side liquidity has been left untouched by way to 9:30. And you have to get your trend line to mark them out. As you can see, one, two, three, minimum of at least three touch. So we are taking Asian high, but targeting Asian low, doing 9:30, and that's it. It broke here, sold, put my stop loss above here, and target my new day opening gap. It's that easy. And of course, I also obey the Judah swing, which is the opening price around here. The opening price will be around here. You sell above your opening price, that's Judah swing, and you target your new. I targeted my new day opening gap, expecting, as you can see, that as it has clean, obeying the consequent encroachment. This is weak. Body tell the story, the weak to the damage. So this is nothing. It just got to the consequent encroachment of that. Did it here, give another entry, then went up. So this is how you use your trend line. Trend line liquidity, as you can see. Just a break and straight. So sometimes though I'm not a trend line trader, but incorporating it in ICT has increased my win rate. So let me show you guys another example. You can use another way you can use um, trend line liquidity break and retest is using it on the higher time frame. One of the secrets I would like to share with you guys is when you're using it on the higher time frame, focus on OTE. OTE should be your entry. Don't focus on any other thing again. Either OTE or you're focusing on unicorn, which is the combination of breaker block and fair value gap as your entry. OTE or unicorn setup entry. Those two should be your entry criteria when you are using trend line break and retest higher time frame. So as you can see in this trade on Great Britain USD, prices we've been having a downtrend initially. So it's easy. You want to have your trend line drawn. So these are all your buy side liquidity you'll be targeting. So you're just waiting for a clean break to occur on that same time frame, which is on the daily. So you can see higher time frame. When you're using trend line break and retest on the higher time frame, please wait for your OT or unicorn to form. If not, don't enter the trade. Now, for trend line traders, what they will do is after this break, they'll wait for a retest, which is this, and they will just jump in, putting their stop loss below this. Now, if they didn't wait for OT as instructed, you see this candle would have stopped them out then before going their way. But as you can see, this is the OTE mark. So you take the low that formed that break. That's where you anchor your OTE to, then to the top. So that's how I got this box. So this is my OTE box. Extend it out. After I did that, market, you do that, immediately it broke the trend line and it's already coming down. That's where you put your entry, stop loss at the low, then target the last trend line that you marked exactly. Can you see? That's clean. When you're doing this thing is something I've back tested and I've forward tested and I've made a lot of money from it doing this on the higher time frame. You tend to hold trade. This was hold for like weeks. So as you can see, we got the entry on February and exits on April. You understand? So that's about 3 months, span of 3 months. That's a quick trade, but at least you take healthy profit at highs. But OTE and unicorn. Now let me show you another, the recent one that we're trading. So as you can see now, the same thing applied to what I said here. Let me delete this so we can have a clean shot. So market has been going up, so I got my trend line as usual. So we have the touch here, another touch here, another touch here, which is enough. We just need 3 touch to have a potential trend line. And can you see it closed below here? Now, normal trend line trader would have been putting some entry here, then what putting their stop loss or so. Before you know, this would have stopped them out. But since I already give you the secret now, you tend not to rush. After I close below, you just take in your OTE again, your optimal trade entry using your fib, extend it. So as you can see, this is the box here. Extend it out, then wait for price to, don't rush. For those people that chase this falling train, they would have been stopped out with this leg up. And look, all this zigzag movement would have stressed them out. But as you can see, if you'd have waited for OT, market just clicked in. I put my stop loss at this. I use a tighter stop loss because I was using a point of interest here, which I'll be teaching you guys a strategy with time. Use a tighter stop loss. I enter the trade and I'm targeting first. We have another relative equal lows as form while retracing them. So I'm targeting, if it drops, then I'll take some profit again. Then if it drops down here, this is my target, this relative equal lows, because you know there's a lot of liquidity there. So after I close below this relative equal lows, my main target is the O range of the trend line. That's my main target. But this will be my first take profit. As you can see, we've been only this trade. So for this, just obey the rules. After a trend line break, switch your mindset to OTE or unicorn. Example on Euro USD, but I was stopped out on break even on this trade. But I just wanted to show you what I was trying to talk about. Now, as you can see, we have a clean trend line: 1 touch, 2 touch, 3 touch, 4 touch, 5. As you can see, I say at least you should have more than 3 touch. So this is a high probability trend line that we're waiting for a breakout. And immediately we have a breakout here, a close below this, as you can see. So what did I say? Most people would have most trend line breakout, break and retest traders would have just, after the breakout, they would have entered at this retest and what they would have been stopped out once. But if you obey my rule of when you're using trend line on an higher time frame, wait for OTE. Market will always return back to OTE. Using your fib retracement at the top of the rate to the bottom, you get your OTE. That's how I got this box. So if I clear that, I know this return is a lie because it hasn't touched the OTE, as you can see. That's just creating more liquidity for price to go up. And you know exactly how we play that. Went to the OT, put me in, my stop loss at this high of the rate, then I'm targeting the low of um the trend line. What happened? It started crashing as soon as it touched that OT. As you can see, massive drop. So though I already took small partial here because this is like 1 to 2 ways to reward. So I took some partials at this low. Then it was coming down. This low, I was looking at this low. Then already after taking some partial here, I move my stop loss to break even. I think my stop loss was around here. So expecting it to drop at least to this extent. Then what happened? This candle stopped me out. So I was already out of this trade. That's network, sorry. So this candle stopped me out and the trade was invalid from then on. But though I'm still in a massive buy trade. I don't know if you go on my Telegram group, you'll be able to see. I caught the buy trade here and we're still holding it till this high. So 1.254 and 1.2275. That's our target. So my buy trade is still moving smooth. I just wanted to catch this drop and had more buy trade around this area, but we didn't get there. Then it keeps on going up. So, but we're still good. I'm just trying to show you guys the how to use your OTE with your trend line. As you can see, this video is about ICT involving using smart money concept, which is ICT involving trend line. So you don't trade like the trend line traders. You involve ICT concept to it and you don't get stopped out just like this. Now, this is another example on using trend line and involving the OTE, which is an ICT concept. On cryptocurrency, which is BTC. Now, I caught this trade, but it took time before it plays out because I missed the initial one. Then it gave me another entry. Now, if you can see, we have a clean trend line here. 1, 2, 3, a clean trend line. So I was expecting a breakout, which took place here. Then after it broke out, it went up. So I was expecting a retest for it to come down, and I told you come down to the OTE. So I took my OTE tool, put it, anchor it below here, then to the high of that. Wait. Then I took my OTE tool, anchor it here, then to the high of that weight. Sorry. Then I took my OTE, anchor it here, then to the high of that weight, to the high of that break. As you can see, that's how I got this box here. So I was expecting price to this drop to target in, put me in. I put my entry here and my stop loss here, but what price didn't get to that level. So I was obeying this fair value gap here, and there's also another fair value gap here. That's the BPR. It was obeying that, then it left. So I was quite sad, thinking I've missed the trade, that it's going to get to take profit, but no, it started dropping down again. Then after it dropped down, after it was dropping down, I had to get my OTE tool again, anchor it from here to the top, and that's how I got this OTE. Putting my stop loss below here, close this, then what market drop down, put me in, I enter in the consequent encroachment. My stop loss was below the low there, then I target the high. As you can see, I think it got there on Friday, so right? On Friday, yes. This initially where I put my take profit here. This high. So I was also using this high to take profit since market read it here. So it just cleared me out, and that's it. Obeying OTE and Trendline will help you mainly on the higher time frame. But on the lower time frame, using your NAS 100 in US 30, just obey the trend line with your Pmms setup. Strategy that I've taught you guys: Asian low to Asian high to Asian low, and that's it. Trend line helps, and it increases your win rate. just that the way we view it is different from people that trade actual trend lines and retest traders. We're not that. They view it as just a break. We view it as liquidity on top of that. You understand? So that break signals that you want to start. But some of them would have just jumped in, yeah, and get stopped out. You understand? Because that's an early entry. But if you relax and wait for OT, there's highly chance the price will not stop you out before it reaches your target. So I guess that's all for the trend line breakout retest. It's a very good strategy to incorporate in your trading and use it mainly as confirmation. Use it as confirmation. Take care and have a good day.